My wife Robin and I recently went on a horse riding trip in the north of Iceland with Globetrotting. So Globetrotting is a travel agency devoted to horse riding holidays and unique cultural horse experiences all over the world. And everything about this trip was first class, from the amazing accommodations we had. But the scenery while riding was just breathtaking. But as the brochure for the trip said, the beating heart of the Touch of Highlands ride is hands down the horses. And I was in love with these Icelandic horses from the first day. We went for this quick exploratory ride just to get a bit of a feel of them. And then day two, we started with a ride to a beautiful waterfall. And then we had first of many, many river crossings, followed by getting to meet the stars of the ride, which is a herd of 75 loose Icelandic horses who accompany us along on the ride. Whenever we'd stop for a break, we'd unsaddle the horses at the end of the break or lunch or whatever, we'd catch a new one out of the herd and continue on. So in the 6 days of the ride, we each got to ride, 10 or 12 of these little guys. Day three, we headed up into the highlands, catching up with the herd and following them. Sometimes, they were bunched up as a herd right there in front of us, and sometimes they stretched out in single file way out in front of us. And the terrain quickly turned to this dusty, rocky, volcanic ground with really spectacular views whenever we top a rise. And we finished that day with a beautiful sunset. We spent the night in a cabin way up in the highlands, and we were lucky enough to see the northern lights that night, which is not promised. Day four, we started out with these horses on the grassy plains, eventually crossing these huge valleys, and then day five, we brought the herd back home, following them along this glacial river valley, and the whole thing was amazing. So if you're interested in this ride, there's two of them happening in 2026, one in July, the other in August. So just go to globetrotting.co and look under Iceland for a Touch of the Highlands ride. You certainly will not be disappointed. I loved it. And if you're not sure about the horses, I can tell you there was a 76-year-old lady on this ride who got along just fine. And if you are wondering how smooth these horses are, I was in Sweden the week before this ride, and I was riding a horse in the forest who fell on me and broke one of my ribs. So I rode the whole ride with a broken rib, and for the most part, it was relatively pain-free thanks to how smooth these horses are. I just can't say enough good things about the company of Globetrotting, all the staff and the guides in Iceland. It was really one of the coolest things my wife and I have ever done.